Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today's video, I thought I would try to assemble my set of 24 Daniel Smith half pans, and this is kind of the way I made it is a combination of a set that I would like to purchase. That means that some of the colors here I don't actually own, but from the way that they look in the what's it called, this color chart, I would like to try them. Sorry, I had a little inky accident. It's ink. And then so some of these I used similar colors for my stash just to kind of give the general effect. And also another rule I was going by, kind of a rule that I made to myself, is not to use any of the colors that are in the new 24 set. That's not it, that's my own version. But none of the colors that are in that set, and none of the colors that are in the Ultimate Mixing set from Daniel Smith, and none of the colors from the Jean Haines set. So these are not my favorite, because a lot of my favorites are already in those other sets, but this is like my idea of what I would like to see from, you know, any brand, which is a set filled with a really versatile palette that has versions of colors that you might not necessarily be familiar with. And you know, sometimes the differences are really small, but then other times you really discover a color that you prefer to whichever very similar version of it you were using. So I hope that all makes sense. And I did make a little faux pas. This was already kind of the second time that I swatched everything. This was the first swatching, and I actually have another paint, so please forgive me. But yeah, I hope you will enjoy this video. I think I have some really great colors here, and Daniel Smith or any brand, if you're watching, I think a lot of us, especially those of us that have a nice collection of watercolors, this is what we would like to see in a set, because there's no way that I can afford to just like drop a couple of $100s and buy 24 tubes of paint. But if I saw a set from a brand that I enjoy that had really a lot of new colors to me, I would definitely use this opportunity to try, you know, a lot of these colors. So let's get started. I started with Gray Titanium. This is one of the newer Daniel Smith colors. This is one that I actually have, but I thought it would be a good color to include that is slightly different from Buff Titanium, which is in the Ultimate Mixing set and in the new 24 set. So Gray Titanium is just, it's a bit more grayish than Buff Titanium. You can't really see the difference here, but Buff Titanium is a little bit warmer. Now the next color is a color I'm really curious about, and I wish I could try it, but I don't know, maybe I'll pick up a tube at some point. So this is Nickel Titanite Yellow from Daniel Smith, and as you can see, it's a semi-opaque, granulating, very pale yellow, and the card doesn't give any more color. I tried, it's just a paper. So what I have here is my Schmincke Naples Yellow. I don't really enjoy Naples Yellow, except my Schmincke one, which is, basically has to be in every palette that I use. And I find that other brands, Naples Yellow is, I don't know, it kind of reminds me more of a yellow ochre. It just doesn't do it for me. And this, I suspect by that little dot, that dry dot, that it might be a color I would enjoy. So similar to the Schmincke Naples Yellow, kind of that buttery light yellow. So I would like to see that from Daniel Smith in a pan maybe. Now next we have yellows. I think are kind of tricky. I think most of us, you know, have probably several yellows in our stash. The one that kind of looked interesting to me was the Mayan Yellow. I don't have that color, and again, the I don't have any more paint left here. It's completely transparent, which I really, really love. And it looks like a good neutral yellow with maybe just a touch of warmth in it, which is what I enjoy. I'm not a big fan of lemon yellows. I don't like to use them. So I don't know, I just grabbed something from my stash that kind of looked familiar, but I would love to see Mayan yellow in a set. The next color that I put is an even warmer yellow, which I put New Gamboge. I have it, I love it, and I don't think I've seen it. It's not in any of the sets that I mentioned. Daniel Smith has also these 6 half pans, and I didn't go into that because that was too complicated, but I think this is a good combination of yellows to have. Next, I went with Mayan Orange. I actually have that. I love this kind of like a light cadmium vermilion type of color, so a very reddish orange or an orangey red, and I think Mayan Orange is a nice version of that. It's semi-opaque, if I'm not mistaken, which kind of tends to be the quality of all these similar colors. I haven't found one that is completely transparent. I think that would be a lovely color to include in a set. The numbers that you see circled, I don't know if you can even see that, are the series. I tried to look also for colors not to have everything from the most expensive series. So I just wrote down most of these are, yeah, from 1 or 2, series 1 or series 2, and then a few are from 3. And then I also added the light fast ratings, which most of them have really good light fastness. A couple are not rated by the ASTM, but most of them have excellent light fast rating. Next is Quinacridone Coral. I just love this color. I would love to see it in a set, and I think it should be a part of the set. So next is my little faux pas, and here I have my 2 pinks. I tried to limit myself to 2 pinks. Quinacridone Rose is kind of the go-to pink for Daniel Smith, it seems, and I get it because I love it also, but you know, you can let us try something different, and I went with Sodalite Genuine, which is a beautiful kind of softer pink, I think really beautiful full florals, and yeah, just a really beautiful color, transparent, lovely. And then Quinacridone Lilac is one of the newer colors, and the pigment is PR122, so Quinacridone Magenta is the pigment, but the color itself is like this beautiful kind of bluish pink. It's quite intense, and I think really versatile and beautiful. So next I included Rose of Ultramarine. I know not everyone loves this color, but I think it's a really nice combination. It's kind of a pretty violet color, and it has that ultramarine blue in it, which gives it a nice granulation. And yeah, I just think it's a really pretty color. One of Daniel Smith's loveliest mixtures in my personal opinion, and I think it would be a nice addition to a set. Next is, it's kind of, I'm not super attached to which one. I called this Cobalt Blue Violet. It's not because I don't have Cobalt Blue Violet, it's just something from my stash, but anything that would go into that ultramarine violet, even ultramarine red, I would include Cobalt Violet, but the Daniel Smith formula is, in my opinion, really not great for that particular color, but even Cobalt Violet Deep. So yeah, I kind of called it Cobalt Blue Violet, but any one of those violets that are more bluish than the Rose of Ultramarine, I really love those. I think purple is a nice color to include, although it's very easy to mix it, especially when you have, you know, 2 pinks and 3 blues. You could absolutely mix it, but I really love the cobalts and their granulation, also the ultramarine violet and ultramarine red. They're also granulating, and I really enjoy having that color. I enjoy it in shadows. I really don't like dioxazine purple or what is it called here? The carbazole violet. I don't like these. They're way too intense for my personal preference. Imperial Purple is really nice, but that one is in the Jean Haines set, so I didn't want to include it. Okay, moving on to blues. I think ultramarine is kind of a staple. I would like to have one in every palette of mine, but Daniel Smith offers two of them. There's ultramarine blue, there's French ultramarine. I don't know, they don't look so different. I would like to try the French ultramarine, why not? Because I'm familiar with ultramarine blue and it's in the other sets. I really love Indanthrone blue. It's this really deep, inky blue. You could go also with something like indigo or Mayan dark blue, which there they are, these three. So this is the Indanthrone blue, this is Mayan dark blue, and this is indigo. The indigo is also transparent and it's more muted. I like the Indanthrone blue. I think it's a really, really beautiful color, and I think it would be a fun color to include in a set. I think we probably all have enough phthalo blue, so I did not include it in my set. I hardly use that. I included manganese blue hue, which is this really warm, light blue. It's a hue and it's made of PB15, so phthalo blue. But this is phthalo blue that I can tolerate. It's like phthalo blue on lithium, you know, like mood stabilizing, not so intense, regular phthalo blue. Next we have cobalt teal blue. That's a must. I love this color. I think it's a must. It's very hard to mix it. It has beautiful granulation. I think it should be in a set. And it's a color that is not usually in sets, maybe because it's a bit pricier. But to me, also when you sell a set, it's kind of an introduction to your brand. And I think if the set is really, really good, then people would want to buy more. That's how it works for me anyway. Next, I decided to include, I'm not super attached to this color. I don't use a ton of it anymore. I used to use a lot more. This is ultramarine turquoise. Daniel Smith has a very similar color that is phthalo turquoise, but ultramarine granulates. And because it has ultramarine blue in it, it's very, very intense. It's very dark. You can also, you know, mix darks with it and get really nice shades if you mix it with quinacridone lilac. So I think it's a versatile color. You can also mix a lot of greens with that one and any of the other yellows. So I included it in my fake set. Now let's move on. Oh, another color that I really enjoy is something similar to rich green gold. And yeah, I'm not a big green fan. I prefer to mix my own if I need a green, or use one of the greens that are in the Jean Haines set, but I didn't want to include them, so I included this one. It's very earthy, it's very yellow, a yellowish earthy green, and I think it's beautiful. So, and you can mix with it and the blues more greens. So I included that. And then the bottom row besides that one is kind of my earth colors. And I think here Daniel Smith really has an opportunity to kind of, you know, show us what they have. Like, they have so many of their special colors, and, you know, I would love to try some in a set instead of having to pick up a tube. So I'll just show you a few that I picked. Some of them I have. Yeah, I think everything here I have in from one brand or another, but I'm not sure what it's short for. I have a similar color from Aquarius, I think. Anyway, let's call it, I think this is Mountain. I don't know what that is, but natural, maybe? Anyway, Amiata Sienna. So instead of having, again, the yellow ochre, give us something new. And quinacridone gold. I mean, everyone has those colors, right? I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but give us something new like this one, or I don't know, French ochre, or just something that is similar but a little bit different. And then instead of burnt sienna, okay, burnt sienna is a classic. yeah, whatever. We all have it. I mean, those of us that want it, we have it. So I added here quinacridone burnt scarlet, which is here. It is transparent. You can see it's more intense than burnt sienna, and it's a really beautiful earthy color with intensity. And I know burnt sienna, a lot of people mix it with ultramarine blue, and this is the mixture of quinacridone burnt scarlet with ultramarine blue. And I think, don't worry, no children were harmed in the making of this video. My kids are at home, of course, all the time now. So I think someone is singing in the background. So this is the mixture with ultramarine blue. You can see that you can totally kind of neutralize it and just get really interesting colors. I mean, this would be beautiful for a sky, I think, in my opinion. Then I went with Lunar Red Rock, which I think would be a nice variation on Indian Red, which is a very standard kind of popular color. But this one, to me, it's just a little bit less intense. I mean, on paper, where are you? On paper, Lunar Red Rock is semi-opaque and then, or semi-transparent, depends how you look at it. And then Indian Red, where are you? Indian Red, okay. And Indian Red is opaque. Okay, so my feeling was correct. It's more transparent and less opaque, but less, you know, intense. And it just makes the most beautiful mixtures. I have a dedicated video to this color if you want to see it kind of in action. I think it's beautiful. I think it's a great earthy color to have. Then here, I just, you know, I added something from my stash. This one is Hematite Burnt Scarlet, which is a beautiful, beautiful neutral color in my opinion. But there are so many here that I would love to try, like Tiger's Eye Genuine or Burnt Tiger's Eye Genuine. I would love to try that. And where's the other one that I was curious about? Bloodstone Genuine. I would also be interested in those. So just, you know, something a bit different. Then I include this Naphthalmide Maroon, which I adore this color. It's beautiful. I mean, here it's kind of light. You can get it to be more intense. For autumn, I really love it. Here's another idea for you, Daniel. So if there any other brand, do a seasonal palette. I would love that. It doesn't have to be 24. I mean, 12 I think is enough, but why not, right? So Naphthalmide Maroon, it's a really, really beautiful color. You can see it's kind of a muted maroon. It's a maroon color, but it's gorgeous. And then, you know, it's probably a good idea to have like a gray or a black or something like a very dark neutral color. Why not go with one of your new grays that you came out with last year? So I went with a Caliente gray, which is really beautiful. Sorry, my hand is shameful. But also the other ones, the Joseph Z's, the neutral one. I don't have the cool one because I have already some cool grays in my stash, but I got these three, and the neutral gray and the Caliente gray are really, really beautiful. So many possibilities, so many options. Oh yeah, that means that's 25. So feel free to remove any of those that you feel are unnecessary here. I don't know what I would remove. Maybe quinacridone burnt scarlet, even though I do like what's going on here. But yeah, I'm kind of attached to all of them. They're all so pretty. So pretty. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the description, you know, which colors you think you would include and what products you would love to see from your favorite manufacturer. I think there is a whole world of possibilities that watercolor manufacturers have not tapped into yet, and I wish someone would hire me as a consultant because I have so many ideas of things that I would love to see. I watch, my guilty pleasure is sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I don't have the patience for it, but then other times I watch beauty videos. I especially enjoy beauty news if you like watching them, and I see what the makeup companies, like cosmetics brands, put out all the time, all these, you know, palettes and everything, and I'm like, why don't we have that with watercolor paint? I mean, it's probably better for our bank accounts, but yeah, there could be so much more. Anywho, stay safe, take care, leave me a comment, like this video, and I'll see you soon in another one. Bye!